This is a reading from the book Moonbeams of Mahamudra. So Mahamudra is a practice from the Karma Kagyu school of Tibetan Buddhism. And this section is called The Reasons It is Necessary to Meditate on the Nature of Mind. All phenomena are your own mind. Apart from mind, there's not even an atom of some phenomenon. In that case, we may ask, what is it that appears as the things we perceive to be external objects, such as forms and sounds? Mind itself, being itself unaware of its own abiding state, has appeared as self and other without beginning. By conceptualizing those perceptions, we have amassed latent tendencies and external reference appear to our mistaken perspective. The mind, disturbed by latent tendencies, appears as reference. There are no existent reference, just mind. Seeing external reference is mistaken. All phenomena are mind's delusion. There are no phenomena, not mind. What appears as phenomena are the deluded mind. In the same way that water can create earthen and stone forms when it is whipped up and stirred by wind, external entities, which are solid, hard, and so forth, appear from the full-blown latent tendencies of the deluded mind. When wind hits water and whips it up, even soft water can turn to stone. When whipped up by thoughts, formless confusion can become solid and hard. So this passage is saying how we solidify our experience by believing our thought forms. Nevertheless, we still may wonder, how does mind itself become samsara and nirvana? When mind is deluded, it does not know the nature of percepts and perceivers. Confused, there is samsara. When that is reversed, there is nirvana. When there is confusion, there are the forms of samsara. When there is no confusion, samsara is pure. Thus, samsara is nirvana. Those crazed and electrified by the overwhelming pervasiveness of the darkness of their many imaginations have minds that the Vajra holder described as samsara, tainted by the stains of desire and the like, so difficult to stop. Natural luminosity is free from concepts. The supreme, powerful mind, devoid of percepts and perceivers, is untainted by the stains of desire and the like, and that is said to be sublime nirvana. Forms appearing in a mirror are visible, although they do not exist. Likewise, when the appearances of mind are not recognized, they arise as dualistic conceptuality. Linked to the latent tendencies of concepts, myriad things arise from mind. The external appearances manifesting to people are merely the mind of worldly ones. Those non-existent external appearances, the body, possessions, places, and all, are mind arising as various things. I declare all to be simply mind. Mind is like a painter. Mind creates the aggregates, or the skandhas. All worldly realms, each and every one, are drawn by the mind. Mind leads the world. yet mind doesn't even see itself. Actions, virtuous or unvirtuous, are amassed by the mind. Mind circles like a firebrand. Mind undulates like waves. Mind burns like fire in a forest. Mind swells like a great river. Throughout beginningless existence, external reference have been imagined. All are projections of mind. So existence is beginningless because consciousness itself without a personality. Consciousness empty of a personality does not get born and does not die. So it also is said, there is nothing outside of mind. All that appears individually, forms and so forth, are only appearances of this mind. So here are the problems of not meditating on the nature of mind. If we do not meditate upon the true nature, we may engage with the Buddha's teachings, but no matter how much we listen to and reflect upon the words of the genuine Dharma, we will only be able to attain a temporary type of result. We will not be able to achieve final liberation. Final liberation is the mind or consciousness recognizing itself to be stable, luminous, spacious, rather than identifying with the objects of consciousness which are born and die every moment, such as our thoughts, our feelings, and our concepts, and our belief system. So we will not be able to achieve final liberation if we don't meditate and see the mind's nature for itself. This has been taught using many analogies. The teachings of the true Buddha are not realized by simply listening to them. For example, someone may be helplessly carried away by a river, but still die of thirst. To not meditate on the Dharma, which is the truth of all things as they are, is like that. Some provide food and drink for many people, yet die of hunger themselves. To not meditate on the Dharma is like this. A doctor may be in possession of every kind of medicine, but die of an intestinal ailment. To not meditate on the Dharma is like this. Those guarding a vault of treasures may count up the riches but not get anything for themselves. So these are the people who save for their children. They're very stingy towards other people or themselves. So they may guard a vault of treasures, count up the riches but not get anything for themselves. So to not meditate on the Dharma is like this. Someone born as a servant in a royal palace full of many delights may have neither food nor drink. To not meditate on the Dharma is like this. In the midst of a marketplace, a blind artist can create drawings but not see them. To not meditate on the Dharma is like this. Ferryman on a great ocean may rescue many people and yet die in the ocean themselves. To not meditate on the Dharma is like this. Some may stand in the crossroads and wish everyone prosperity, but they won't receive any of it themselves. To not meditate on the Dharma is like this. Those who do not know the secret of mind, what is of sublime importance in the Dharma, will wander futilely for a long time despite their desire to attain happiness and destroy suffering. If we do not cultivate meditative concentration, we will not develop wisdom, or also known as prajna. Without prajna, or wisdom, we cannot achieve awakening. The letter to a friend states, when there is no meditative concentration, there is no wisdom. There is no prajna. Therefore, those who abide in ethical conduct and engage in listening to and reflecting to the Dhamma, in the end must practice meditation. Resting in a moment of meditative concentration is more meaningful than saving the lives of all the people in the three realms. The cultivation of samadhi, or often translated as concentration with tranquility, is thought to have many excellent qualities. It reverses fixating on the sense pleasures. It cuts through the sources of doubts. It gives rise to supercognitive abilities and samadhis, meaning different levels of tranquil absorption or concentration with tranquility. It arouses great compassion, causes us to see the true nature of our mind, consciousness and awareness, and gives us the ability to bring disciples to awakening. Meditative concentration dispenses with inferior sense pleasures. So I think that when we are tranquilly concentrated, the happiness we experience is far greater than that of the lowly sense pleasures from eating, from having sex, from idling, from gossiping. So cultivating samadhi, again, it's concentration with tranquility, severs doubts. Without that realization, nothing else can be effective. Thus, samadhi meditation is supreme. The wise should exert themselves in that. By resting the mind evenly, what is true will be seen as it is. By seeing what is true just as it is, bodhisattvas, meaning those who practice towards the purity of their mind, engage with great passion for the sake of all sentient beings. Through meditative concentration, bodhisattvas establish all beings in all the three levels of awakening. So bodhisattvas there is a debate in the early Buddhism and the later Buddhism, the Theravada and the Mahayana and the Vajrayana, that they differentiate between the path of an arahant, which is what is an enlightened being in the Theravada tradition, versus that of a bodhisattva in the Mahayana or Vajrayana tradition. So the early Buddhists are often called the Hinayana or lower vehicle because they feel that they have been criticized by the later Buddhist practitioners or monks that this tradition doesn't care about people. So for all those caught up in this belief, I would like to share that the Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha, he himself was a bodhisattva. And even when he attained arhatship or Buddhahood, he did not keep to himself. He actually helped others. And when he taught his first batch of disciples, which are from the early Buddhist tradition, who became enlightened, he called them arahants. By the way, he taught them to teach the Dhamma. He taught them to benefit others with the Dhamma. So it is not possible on a path towards enlightenment to totally ignore other people. How can one who has, for example, bought a beautiful house and experienced that luxury of the beautiful house or the wonderful cuisine and not want to share it with their friends and family is just not conceivable. So for a mind that isn't interested in knowing themselves or to know the wonderful luminosity, bliss, and peace that resides in themselves, if they are capable of sharing outer things with their family and friends, how can an arhat not do the same? So I hope to leave that as a reflection. I think to become an arhat, it is necessary to be a bodhisattva. There is no duality, there is no small vehicle, there is no big vehicle. And someone who actually proudly says they're of the big vehicle, they are bodhisattvas, and say it proudly, and they put the Theravada tradition down, the arhats down, that is just another form of ego. And the Buddha's teachings is for us to put away the ego so that we can see ourselves as who and what we really are. The deathless consciousness without clinging to the impermanent objects within the consciousness. So in this sense, we are all the same. So I leave you with this reflection. May you all enjoy your happy holidays and resume our recording again next year, 2023. Thank you.